Stage 7 of the Global Champions League greets you with a massive French hello. I know we've been on the French Riviera for the last couple of weeks, but now to enter into the heartland, the main city of Paris, there is just a different feel and a different energy when you step into this arena as we return to the famous Champ de Mars. And as we return to the famous Champ de Mars, we return to the famous iconic setting of being right here underneath the Eiffel Tower. You talk about iconic settings in the Global Champions League, but let me tell you, when you are standing and jumping under that, ladies and gentlemen, there is a reason why we offer you a ticket to the world, and that ticket is right here in the Global Champions League. Welcome to the show and welcome to Stage 7. What a way to open up the show with the winners of 2024 in Paris, as Jérôme Garry and the Doha Falcons join us inside our studio as we get ready to kickstart today's action. Jérôme must be very happy to return to Paris, a wonderful place to be, a very difficult place not to enjoy, and you have wonderful memories here.
Yeah, of course. We won in 2017. We won also in 2021, and last year, 2024. Okay, it's always really special when you're here in Paris under one of the most popular monuments, the Eiffel Tower. It's quite amazing to be here. That's for us. It's always special to come back, and we try to do the best. If we can do the same that last year, we'll be super.
This is a very Stage 7 of the Global Champions League greets you with a massive French hello. I know we've been on the French Riviera for the last couple of weeks, but now to enter into the heartland, the main city of Paris, there is just a different feel and a different energy when you step into this arena as we return to the famous Champ de Mars. And as we return to the famous Champ de Mars, we return to the famous iconic setting of being right here underneath the Eiffel Tower. You talk about iconic settings in the Global Champions League, but let me tell you, when you are standing and jumping under that, ladies and gentlemen, there is a reason why we offer you a ticket to the world, and that ticket is right here in the Global Champions League. Welcome to the show and welcome to Stage 7. What a way to open up the show with the winners of 2024 in Paris, as Jérôme Gary and the Doha Falcons join us inside our studio as we get ready to kickstart today's action. Jérôme must be very happy to return to Paris, a wonderful place to be, a very difficult place not to enjoy, and you have wonderful memories here.
Yeah, of course. We won in 2017. We won also in 2021, and last year, 2024. Okay, it's always really special when you're here in Paris under one of the most popular monuments, the Eiffel Tower. It's quite amazing to be here. That's for us. It's always special to come back, and we try to do the best. If we can do the same that last year, we'll be super.
This is a very busy period for the teams. As we said, there's a couple of stages on the French Riviera. We go from there straight here to Paris. We have Monaco in a few weeks' time. How have the Doha Falcons been planning this? How do you make sure that you come to Paris with a fresh team, a fresh mindset, fresh horses during such a busy period?
Yeah, it's true. It was 3 weeks in a row for the teams. That's I didn't do Cannes, but I did Saint-Tropez and here. And just we try always to arrive with the horse fresh and fit. And the management of the team is really important. That's why Julien is not with me this weekend, but I will be with Willem Vermeer. He did Cannes with Julien. Julien did with me Saint-Tropez, and this weekend it's me and Willem. It's really important to manage the horses and the plan to arrive with the horse fresh and in a good shape.
Absolutely. Talk to me about what is the feeling like in the Doha Falcons now with where you stand in the competition? What has the conversation been like in between shows? Where is the team feeling that the energy is?
Honestly, we have good things and bad things. We are not the best start. Honestly, we make really good rounds, but sometimes we make mistakes. For the moment, we are not so high in the ranking. That's we know that Monaco will be the last competition in the half season. That's we have now to be motivated. Perhaps we will change some riders to come with fresh horses. But we have a lot of discussion to be a little bit more stronger. But we are here back in Paris, and we are really motivated to do a good result.
What was the ambition at the start of the year? You mentioned Monaco being the halfway point. Are you able to share with me maybe what was the conversation, the desired plan at the halfway stage? What were you hoping to be? Where do you find yourself in comparison?
Exactly. This year we were just a little bit disappointed about our result, because last year we were a little bit better. Of course, when you start a new year, we always try to be better than the year before. But it depends of many things. Horses, first of all, a little bit luck also, the good management, the good form of the horse, of the riders, and then okay, for the moment we had, like I said, we were a few times unlucky, but no, we are really focused. We have a good group of horses and riders, and we try to organize the best plan for the rest of the season.
You talk about being focused, about having the best riders, the best horses. Who do you and Willem bring here this weekend? Which horses have you selected for Paris?
Yeah, I bring the same horse that I had last weekend, and Careca and Killer Queen. I just turn opposite, then I will ride first Killer Queen in the first round and Careca in the second round.
Both who look fantastic, by the way. They're so smooth, so easy to ride. The relationship between you seems to be getting really, really strong very quickly.
Thanks. That's why I try really to understand my horses and try to be a couple. But it's true, when all the time when I met a new horse, I feel straight away if we will have a good relationship, because we have a click straight away. And with Killer Queen, because I just started riding her at the beginning of the year, and I felt directly that we have something special together. And we can see in Mexico, in Saint-Tropez, and I hope this weekend again.
Amazing how quickly that relationship has blossomed and has started to connect so quickly. Before we let you go, you mentioned a couple of years of success here. What is it about Paris that makes it so difficult? Some people might say it's a tricky ring, it's quite small, the sand arenas, what we've been doing over Saint-Tropez and Cannes. What are the challenges that a Paris ring like this will offer the riders that come later today?
Yeah, like you say, it's not a big arena, and it's a little bit tricky to warm up. Also, it's small. That we know that is difficult for the horses. Also here, it's really special because the ground is not flat; it's a little bit bumper, and there's up and down that we have to walk also with it. It's a special place, but we know it, and that's also we like when it's different things, different than the other show. And under the Eiffel Tour, it makes also pressure that you want to be good here.
Why not? Who doesn't want to be on a podium with that being the view behind you? Best of luck to you and Willem Vermeer. Later on today, the Doha Falcons, Jérôme Guéry and Willem Vermeer will be coming out today. They've had success here before. Can they do it again in 2025? Can they be back-to-back winners after winning in 24? Can it be 25 again? We'll find out later on this afternoon. But as far as the city is concerned, as far as the iconic setting is concerned, as usual, I decided to let Dan Strange out on the town. I said, Dan, go and take a walk around this beautiful city and show me how and what you need to find. Dan Strange, take us through a stroll through the city of Paris.
It's great to be back in Paris. I love this city as the Eiffel Tower rises above this amazing place, and show jumping is right at the heart of this epic location. Like the levels of the Eiffel Tower, each GCL round rises. But it's not just the height of the fences that go up, the stakes do too. Level 1 is round 1. The fences are set to 1.55 meters, meaning the teams can really lay the foundations for the best qualifying position into round 2. Clear rounds settle the nerves, as the teams look to be as late in the starting order for round 2 as they can possibly be. Round 2, level 2, a new challenge, a new course. The fences go up to 1.60 meters. The margins tighten, one rail down and everything can change. The leaderboard can be flipped around. Now, consistency is key. But only the best can rise all the way to the top of the GCL podium. In Paris, the views are just breathtaking. And so here we are, one city, 2 rounds, and as the bar rises, the Eiffel Tower is watching.
Dan Strange really does have the best job, being able to just walk through the streets of Paris. I have no doubt that he may have stopped for a quick little cafe somewhere, that he may have stopped and had a little croissant somewhere on the street, all whilst making his way back into the showground, preparing for today's action. Dan Strange, thank you for a wonderful walk through this incredible city. Now, before we dive too deep into Paris, before we dive too deep into Stage 7 of the Global Champions League, we always try and take a moment to reflect on what has brought us to this point. Let's flash back to the previous stage in Ramatuelle Saint-Tropez and remind you what took place in that stage, Stage 6 of the GCL. This is the flashback to Ramatuelle Saint-Tropez.
Ladies and gentlemen, a very good afternoon. The warmest of welcomes to the Longines Global Champions Tour here in Ramatuelle Saint-Tropez for leg 6 of the 2025 season. Dames Calamandia NRW skips ahead of the rhythm to come down into this final line and to secure a stunning clear round. Wow, Cannes Stars come out, all guns blazing. And now Philippe Weisshaupt tries to deliver clear and quicker. And it's going to be surely a walk in the park here for Philippe Weisshaupt to come home inside last year's champions. Oh, winning time, but the drama. That's a move very close in behind Shanghai Swans because they're second in Shanghai. And there it is, Volkswagen United. The roar goes up, Hans-Dieter Dreyer. Gilles Thomas. Gilles Thomas is going to go just ahead, isn't he? Yes, 1:41.31. GCL round 2 concludes here. Vladimir Dupont secures a great distance, I thought, but a little the acceleration, I think, may be the reason. The fence goes, there it is, more trouble. It's unbelievable. It does mean Volkswagen United win here.
It is turning out to be a fantastic season for Falcons United. If you remember, they were second in Shanghai, winners in Madrid, now winners in Saint-Tropez. The men in blue are firing and they are putting up a serious championship drive here in 2025. Lots of talk around the Shanghai Swans being the team to catch, but most recently the Can Stars, powered by the Iron Dames, they found themselves coming back into the championship lead, but never forgetting Falcons United, who continue to knock on the door and continue to keep those top championship teams on their toes. I've given you an insight as to what the championship table looks like. Let's give you an idea what the official rankings look like now, because coming out of stage 6 in the Saint-Tropez, we officially had new championship leaders. The Can Stars, powered by the Iron Dames, now firing themselves back into first place as they now once again become the team to catch. The GCL champions of 2024 once again on top of the standings now, almost midway through 2025. Falcons and Shanghai continue to have this battle. And perhaps somewhat of a surprise, in fourth place we find the Saint-Tropez Pirates. After that fantastic win earlier on the season, they picked up maximum points there and are now just behind Shanghai. Prague Lions, Madrid Emotion, the Razorback International, even New York Empire all find themselves now battling for a top 4 spot. And as the season unfolds, we'll remind you more and more of the importance of finishing inside the top 4. But what is happening to the Doha Falcons, as Jérôme Guéry said earlier on today, not where they want to find themselves. And the Stockholm Hearts, powered by the H&M We Love Horses team, boy, this has not been a season, at least the start of the season, that they want to find themselves in. That is shaping up to be an intriguing battle from the Doha Falcons, the Scandinavian Vikings, Stockholm Hearts, and even the Paris Panthers, who are all looking to avoid that scrap at the bottom. And because now of new championship rules that have been brought in 2025, all of a sudden finishing bottom has some significant outcomes. Because in previous seasons, finish bottom of the table, all it means is that you'll be very first to go in the quarterfinals at the GC playoffs at the end of the season. Now there is more at stake. With the team that faces the last position, they will not go to Prague. They will not compete in the GCL Super Cup, which is the big prize at the end of the season. So let's focus on some of those teams now that have found themselves in this battle. Which of those teams, then, as you saw on the table, are struggling and fighting it out? Well, let's give you an idea as to what that looks like at the bottom of the championship table.
In a fierce competition like the Global Champions League, there's one battle that barely makes the headlines at all. Down at the bottom, the stakes are different. There's no pressure to win it all, just the pressure to be resilient, stay in the game, get every point on offer, and just keep jumping as best you can. This is the League of the Last. Johan, obviously a disappointing elimination in Saint-Tropez for Scandinavian Vikings. Here in Paris, how do you bounce back from that?
And I think we have a very good team, so we can really be bouncing back from last week's happening. So hopefully this week I really think we can do it well.
As a team, maybe we had bad luck, but I hope like everything can go better and we can get some good results as a team and not only like some good individual like results.
I think we're a little bit in a moving year. We have a little bit less horses, a little bit less horsepower, but I think we're only halfway. We're going to try to do a better job this week in Paris and go from there.
I mean, we knew to start out the year there was going to be an experienced year overall. Of course, our goal isn't to be sitting in the 17th position right now. We hope to improve. And I think here we have quite a competitive team, I hope. We'll do our best for sure tomorrow. I mean, we always need to believe our horses are developing, which was our main goal. And the results will come.
There's a long way left to go in the season. How do you use Paris as a springboard to push your way up the Global Champions League table?
I think for me it's a very good experience. I'm here with my best horse Memphis. Johan brought also Harwich, his best horse. So we should be normally a strong team this week. Jorge is also here with the good horses. So I think this week can be good for the Vikings.
I think for sure second half of the season we want to get a bit up the ranking. I just don't know and what is possible where we can end up, but hopefully back into the top 10 that will be for sure hopefully possible, yeah.
If you finish in that position, you can't go to the GC playoffs in Prague. You don't go to the GCL Super Cup. From now, what are the aims? What are the aspirations for the Paris Panthers?
Jump clear rounds. I think jumping clear rounds is the the main goal of every rider going to a ring like this. And I feel like I am and we are getting closer to it at every show. And as we said, this is, of course, we want to go to the playoffs. It's a beautiful show, we would be ashamed to miss it. But there's other years, our team is developing, and we hope this is only one of the future seasons we compete at the Global Tour.
I think we're trying to focus show by show and try to make the best plans with the best couples. But I think we still have a long way to go to Prague.
Other years we were quite lucky enough to be always been fighting in the first or second spot, but now we're going quite far back. So I think, I think now the plan is to get qualified for Prague, and I think that's the main goal for the moment.
I have my best horse here, and hopefully we can be strong in the field here.
Jumping clear rounds, making sure that you and your horse are feeling better, more connected and ready for better results. That is what is key. That is what the goal is going to be for those teams that are now fighting it out at the bottom of the table. And as Dan pointed out, as the riders pointed out, the idea of missing out on Prague, the idea of missing out on the GC playoffs at the end of the season, the idea of missing out on a GCL Super Cup position, well, that is just absolutely devastating for these teams that spend the entire season trying to collect championship points to try and get to the biggest stage of them all. To miss out on that is going to be a devastating pill to swallow. Let's take you through the start list of what it looks like here today for Global Champions League Round 1, live from Paris, Stage 7, about to get underway. Round 1 teams are selected by an auto-generated computer. Saint-Tropez Pirates will be first to go. Istanbul Warriors, powered by the Carpe Diem equestrian team, will be second. Shanghai Swans, early championship contenders, will go quite early today. The Stockholm Hearts, we've heard that they have some troubles. They find themselves in 6th. Canstars, championship leaders, in 9th to go just before the break. Monaco Comets, their sister team, will be shortly after them. And then Paris Panthers, as we said, pressure on them to try and survive, to try and move off the foot of the table. A lot of questions being asked about them. Razorback International get a very late start. Falcons United get a very late start as well. Gilles Thomas and Marcus Eining will be pretty happy with that start time. Although, by the way, Gilles Thomas, we talk about him in the previous stage, jumping Calista, a young 9-year-old. And let me tell you, does Gilles Thomas not bring another 9-year-old, a different 9-year-old to the show here this week, talking about developing young horses, talking about a super talent. Gilles Thomas, what a superstar for not even the future, for now, currently. His time is now, and that star continues to shine and continues to be a major, major role in that Falcons United team. Something very similar is happening in the Paris Panthers. We've spoken about their troubles, but let's talk about Luis Felipe Neto da Azevedo, because here is a young man that is carrying a lot of weight on his shoulders. He has competed many times in this GCL season already. He jumped in Doha, in Mexico, in Shanghai, where the team were eliminated, and most recently in Madrid as well. He is, without a shadow of a doubt, one of the anchor men for the Paris Panthers. We took some time to catch up with him to get a better feeling for the team.
Lewis, a home show for Paris Panthers. Just tell me about the pride and the emotion you feel.
Of course, it's a special show for us. I mean, this magnificent setting. It's a privilege to be here, and we're thrilled, and we hope we collect a good result tomorrow.
Your father's been very outspoken about how hard he's working to develop the talented roster you've got. What are you seeing in the background developing for this Paris Panthers group?
I mean, my father is having the difficult role of being quite the leader of the Paris Panthers with his amazing mare Sierra. And I mean, there's myself from the young generation, Mariana, Carla, and Alex. So I think we have a pretty good group. And I think it's a question of time of developing the horses, the riders, and we'll come back even stronger next year.
Are you enjoying your role in a leadership role?
I mean, it's a privilege to be able to be underneath the leadership of my father. I feel like in this team also, I'm having the privilege to ride in the teams and to be kind of also a bit of a leader. And I'm embracing that role, and I'm really happy about it.
Does the leadership role affect then how you ride? Does it change when you go into the arena, or are you able to switch off from that?
I mean, I was lucky enough to compete at various important shows despite my young age. So I think pressure is a privilege, and we just need to take advantage of it. And at the end, it's you and your horse out there.
He is without a shadow of a doubt one of the main anchor roles, and because of that kind of takes on a leadership role when he's inside the ring, and that is the pressure that's then falling on the shoulders of Luis Filipe Neto de Azevedo for the Paris Panthers. Home show, as Dan points out, pressure on their shoulders. They want to perform here this weekend as the home team. They need to make up ground. They want to move off the foot of the table, and now just giving us perhaps a little better insight as to what that pressure is starting to feel like as we approach the halfway point of the season. A team that is arguably feeling completely opposite is that of Falcons United. They are flying high. They have a great combination of riders. They have a huge amount of firepower in the stable. Let's take a moment to catch up with Gilles Thomas and Marcus Eining, get some thoughts from the Falcons United riders this weekend ahead of GCL Stage 7.
Thanks, Mark. Yep, I'm in the arena with Falcons United, with Marcus Eining and Gilles Thomas. You guys as a team are in red-hot form. How do you continue it today, Gilles?
It's a good place to be in hot form. It's hot here.
Last week, Marcus, obviously the team won. Gilles was jumping really well on Callista. Across the roster at the moment, things seem to be all going right.
Not all, but I think we are in a good way, and it's a bit of pressure here. We want again to be on the podium, and yeah, we will see.
Why do you feel pressure here?
Because if you ride for Jan Tops, you're always under pressure, and at the end we want to go clear, for sure on the podium. That's our goal, and that makes it even more exciting.
As you say there, this team have a legacy. They also have a legacy of building up exceptional under 25 riders, excuse me. Ingrid comes into the group today. How are you guys helping her to feel at ease?
Yeah, I think just of being here, she will learn already a lot. Just of watching all the other riders. And okay, she has her own trainer, Jessica Curtin, also here. So yeah, but if she has a question, she always can come to us.
What do you think today is going to make the difference between you getting on the podium and not? Obviously, there's always pressure, and it's really tight margins with Cannes and Shanghai.
The difference is the team who goes clear and the other one not. It's every week the same, and it's even hot here now. We see if some horses going maybe twice, they get a bit tired or not. And but so far the first round is a nice course. I think we will have a few faults, but in general it's a nice course. And then we will see how the second round is going, and with the pressure, if we can handle it.
And just briefly, you guys both ride the first round. Who are you on?
I'm riding the first round with River.
Me with Chiara.
Good luck for today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mark, back over to you.
They are without a shadow of a doubt the team to watch, the team to keep an eye on this season. CanStars may well be leading. The Shanghai Swans may be the so-called danger team. But based on form, based on momentum, Falcons United are the team that everyone is trying to replicate at the moment. Speaking of Madrid emotion, young Jack Whittaker makes a return to the team. There is no Eduardo Alvarez Aznar. There is no Michael van der Vleuten. There is no Kim Emmen here in Paris. The team selected for Stage 7 belongs to Manuel Fernandez Saro and young Jack Whittaker. We will see how Madrid emotion fare later on today. Let's hear from Jack Whittaker and get some thoughts from the young man.
Thanks, Mark. Yeah, we're here in the arena. The course walk's going on. I've got Jack Whittaker of Madrid in Motion. Now, Jack, we're going to walk from Oxford at 9 through to 10. It's your seasonal debut. If you walk with me, we'll talk it through. How do you feel, first of all, back with Madrid in Motion?
Yeah, no, very happy to be here. The horses feel in good form. I haven't done so many. Well, it's my first one this year, so I have to be here and hopefully we can pull some clear rounds out. So
we're going from 9 to 10.
Yeah.
We're actually going over the top of the fountain that normally lies in the middle of Champ de Mars.
You can tell there's a bit of an old. The whole ring's on a bit of a hump. You know, you can really feel it.
How does that? What do you have to think about with the undulation?
It's like it makes Oxford so much bigger and wider, you know. And the course builders normally use it to their advantage as well to make jumps more difficult.
So you're coming from the Oxford at 9, and you've got to get the line right here because you're sort of swinging around this one vertical into another. What are you thinking?
Well, it's not even the line that's so difficult. It's just the fence on its own. It's a bit stuck on its own. It's a big jump and it's jumping into the people. The horses are going to want to jump right, you know. So it means they finish their jump early, and then they're going to try and cut across and pull it out behind, get in the way here.
We are in the way, but that's okay. Valmy de Lalonde, you're on him today.
Yeah.
Form? What's his form?
He's on very good form twice at the moment. That's why I'm pretty confident. I'll be pretty confident going into this. He's very comfortable around this height, and I'm very comfortable with him around this height. So happy to be here. Hopefully we can do it.
Fanfa had a word with you just before we went on air. What did he say?
Amigo, jump clear.
Well, good luck and do that. Back to you, Mark, in the studio.
Up for a very exciting Global Champions League, ladies and gentlemen, live from Paris, stage 7 of the competition. It continues to heat up as we go further and further into this European summer. That is the star of the show for now. That Eiffel Tower will dominate every single frame of this competition. The big question now is which of these riders, which of these horses are going to jump in such superb fashion that they will be crowned champions under that Eiffel Tower. We'll find out throughout the rest of the afternoon. Stage 1, or stage 7 rather, round 1 of Global Champions League live from Paris is next.
Warm afternoon, but thankfully there's a breeze in the Prisionnaire to keep our horses cool. But far from cool is the GCL battle. It is really raging for our team. 17 teams that come into this brand new GCL season. The 9th GCL edition we have had that started some years ago, founded by Jan Tops. And what a fascinating battle we have emerging, because only 2 teams have won twice this year. Shanghai Swans struck back-to-back wins, Mexico City and then at home in Shanghai. And Falcon United, they won leg 4 in Madrid, and they won last week in Ramator Saint-Tropez. This is the 3rd back-to-back leg we are enjoying in France. We started in Cannes on the beautiful French Riviera, then we travelled westwards to Ramator Saint-Tropez and then north to the French capital. And GCL Round 1 is the masterpiece by this brilliant designer. Francis Gregory Bodo has set the track. 455 metres is its length and 73 seconds is the time allowed. Well, that is the dizzy height of the Tour d'Eiffel, and what a beautiful backdrop it is truly sensational. And Champ de Mars dates back to, again, Roman times. Campus Martius, the origin of the name here. That was the brilliant battleground in ancient Rome. But the battle will wage between the likes of that man, Vice World Champion Jérôme Guéry, and that is Nicola Philippart's Stockholm Hearts. Work to do in the season standings, because they won the Super Cup in the GCL and the Real Playoffs last year. Jérôme Guéry for Doha Falcons. They're all out assessing the track. Of course, the course must be meticulously walked. There will be intricacies this afternoon. It is a very big test, I can promise you. Nuanced course from Gregory Bodo once again that takes centre stage here. Great to have your company. This is leg 7 of the Longines Global Champions Tour. And it is going to be 54 combinations that come forward, 23 nations represented. We have 20 individual combinations that come first. That is for the Turkish Airlines prize, GCL Round 1's individual battle, prior to 17 teams getting started. Club Le Provost's got a great record in the Longines Global Champions Tour Grand Prix here. That's a young horse for Penelope de Talma at 16. Then comes the now world number 3, Henrik von Eckermann. He's number 17. That horse has been a massive win on the Longines Global Champions Tour over the years. Glamour Girl. Bon Ami won leg 1, the Grand Prix this in Doha for Abdul Said. Now these are the team combinations, and the brothers line up. Olivia and Nicola Philipparts for Stockholm Hearts. Niels Brassels and Peter de Vos, they come together. Rome Gladiators, Yali Cass is 16 alongside Nadja Peter Steiner. And looking forward to seeing the likes of Spencer Smith and Robert Murphy, one for the USA and one for Great Britain for New York Empire. 45 and 46 they will start. And the back of the pack, well, Marcus Enning and Gilles Thomas line up for Valkenswaard United as they bid for their 3rd win as a team this year. So welcome to the Longines Paris Eiffel jumping. And this is the 9th edition of the GCL here. It is the 11th time actually we've come to Paris. That was 2014, the inaugural edition. And the Longines Global Champions Tour Grand Prix win that year for a home win. Kevin Sote and Silvana Ashdc, that was. Our crowds take their seats, and there's certainly a frenzied excitement about the Champ de Mars location this afternoon. Everybody jostling for a good, or the best position preferably. Of the 8 former editions, I can tell you that only Saint-Tropez Pirates have won actually twice. They won it in 2021 and 2017. And Saint-Tropez Pirates, they won leg 5 with us in Cannes. That was a very strong win. Duarte Seabra, Mariano Martinez Bastida and young Max Watchman. the trailblazer to take us around the course of Gregory Boulder this afternoon. For this, the Turkish Airlines prize. GCL round 1 gets underway, and Roger Bosti will launch us into action. The great veteran of the French teams, 59 years of age. And Roger, locally based to us here in Paris, he's from Barbizon, just down to the southeast of the capital. Bosti made 10 championship starts for the French national team, dating back to the World Equestrian Games, the very first World Games in Stockholm back in 1990. And that was a world team title as well, alongside some greats, Eric Navet, Hubert Bordy and Pierre Durand. And Roger, this afternoon, he saddles Ballerine du Villepillon. This mare, she's the of Balubé de Rouet. Rodrigo Pessoa's brilliant chestnut. The sire, the colour is clearly embedded in the genes. And Damsar here, Quidam de Reverb, Hervé Godognan's former superstar. This is their 5th season together. They were 12th last year with us on the Longines Global Champions Tour, the Grand Prix of Shanghai. And they won the King's Cup in Madrid last year as well. Big Copa del Rey. Now, Roger comes into the Longines pair of verticals. The first one is the early blemish. 150 in, 152 out of 3B. This is a very airy Eiffel Tower vertical, just 2 rails above the fillers, 152 tall, and then a left-handed run down to the big oxer. Now the global champions, the Prague playoffs vertical, down then into the combination, 4 strides, but the second error, I'm afraid, into the combination, so both the doubles this afternoon catching out Roger Bost, and Ballerine du Villepillon gets lucky out over the Liverpool. This is the home turn here. The GCL double, big red-white vertical entering 151, and then 150 square as the oxer exiting. The tricolor goes, the last fence, I'm afraid. So Roger Bost just shows us the demands of this course. He's a legendary horseman. I've got to know Bosti well over the last few years, and he is a charismatic, incredible, dynamic veteran of world show jumping. The opening score is 3 down. It is 12 for Roger Bost and Ballerine du Villepillon. Two for Sweden this afternoon, and Angelica Augustin Zanotelli is the first for Sweden. She hails from Gothenburg, far west side of Sweden. Simone de Lastra watches on. She has ridden at 2 European Championship starts for Sweden, and the team bronze came in Henning 2013. And in fact, that was where the man we've just seen, Roger Bost, won the individual European title. Diaz de Coquerie on course for Angelica this afternoon. A 1-year partnership they've enjoyed since June of last year, previously with Marlon, her husband. They were in Rome last year and 4th in GCL round 1. Very good finish that was at Circus Maximus. They did jump with us in the Longines Global Champions Tour in Shanghai, leg 3 this year. 15 mighty legs that will conclude in Riyadh, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, late October into early November, prior to the Prague playoffs. But I'm afraid another combination just showing us how tough this course set this afternoon is, with a pair of rails down for Angelica Augustin Zanotelli. And she's had a few little escapes as well, but like Roger Bost, is going to be a 12 penalty score for the second out of the Turkish Airlines GCL round 1 this afternoon here in Paris. 12-year-old mare, Consort de Vie Zed's daughter, across the Papillon Rouge. It is 12 for Diaz de Coquerie and Angelica Augustin Zanotelli. Fans are out, everybody trying to get some bit of refreshing air in this baking French capital this afternoon. This is a very young combination, because Foxpit Grimmer, just 10 years of age, the son of the world champion in 2010, Vigaran Soy. And this Antoine Herman, he is only 23 himself. I think he's a young master. He jumped a wonderful double clear in the Nations Cup competition in Rome for the French national team for the silver a couple of weeks ago, and Foxpit Grim is on the course. This horse's very first Longines Global Champions Tour start this week. The year partnership that started in June of last year. Antoine himself is from the eastern flank of France, Chevigny de Chevrières, that is close to Mâcon near Lyon, but now based with the Sadron family. His partner Jean Sadron, who won the Longines Global Champions Tour Grand Prix here last year. What a win that was for Dexter Kerglen. That is the Cheval stable. And Antoine, the first mistake, I'm afraid, on the far side. 7 is the error. 153, the Prague Plows vertical. French junior champion. He won that title in 2019. He's a calm, decisive horseman. He's got that lovely, relaxed disposition, which the horses really lock onto as being someone they would want in their saddle. It's the best round this afternoon so far from this emerging talent. He's proving a force to be reckoned with on the senior stage now, and still only 23. Best round of this afternoon's GCL round 1. But still we wait for the first clear round. It's 4 for Antoine Herman, and the first time on the Longines Global Champions Tour, Foxpit Grim, number 3. The 4th this afternoon around this fearsome course of Gregory Bodo. Denmark's Andreas Skov getting started. He's had 2 superb Longines Global Champions Tour Grand Prix results with us this year. He was 6th 2 legs ago in Cannes, and very well placed 4th in Shanghai, both with Napoli Van Het and Neda Rasentov, his Rolls Royce. But this afternoon, Andreas Skov, he saddles Eureka Vier, daughter of Yuriko, whose side Harry Smulders is former very good top horse Jurkas van der Kattenvenen. Now rounds into this very airy, light rail. At 5, jumps it smartly. This pair together since just March of this year. Former rider Dermot Howley and Matilda Carlson. It's their second Longines Global Champions Tour week, consecutively having been with us in Ramatois Saint-Tropez last week. And this their second 5-star week only as a brand new combination. A 5th last week in the Hotel Byblos 2 phase 145 competition that was won by Laura Kraut and Lady D. And Andreas Skov is jumping a magnificent round here, bearing in mind their rawness as a combination all day long. Oh God, had to be the first clear round all day long, but I'm afraid that last fence denies what looked to be bald statements of truth. The last fence goes to Andreas Skov. Met it very nicely. It was a steady rhythm down to it. Take-up point was plucked out of the air, but yeah, bizarre late mistake after a otherwise flawless round for Andreas Skov. The next to come is a brilliant statesman for a Brazilian show jumping. Eduardo Pereira Menezes comes forward. He is world ranked number 100 as we stand. But this horse, normally the rider of Carlos Hank Guerrero, it is H5 Origi Horta on course for the man from Santa Maria, Brazil, Eduardo Pereira Menezes. This pair did have a spell together in 2023, but had a couple of retirements of late with Carlos in St. Gallen and on the Longines Global Champions Tour in Shanghai. And whether that's the reason Eduardo rides this afternoon to give this horse some confidence back, I'm not sure. Eduardo himself was 36th on the Longines Global Champions Tour as steeds in the standings last year. He takes all the way back with us to 2013 was his first Longines Global Champions Tour start in Lausanne in the north of Switzerland. Now, could the seasoned Brazilian post the first clear of the afternoon? Andreas Sko having come so close to it. This course again looks riddled with problems. Gregory Bodo designed last week in the Ramator Saint-Tropez. What a Grand Prix course it was. He set it was another brilliant challenge from Gregory Bodo. But finally we get our open clear round of the afternoon. 63-62 is the benchmark set by Eduardo Pereira de Menezes. Powerful, precise round from H5 Origi Horta, and as I say, a brand new combination. As I say, yes, a spell with Eduardo before, but that is a very good result from a brand new combination in essence. First clear of the afternoon in GCL round 1 here. Leg 7 of the Longines Global Champions Tour in Paris. This lady is the U25 rider for Riesenbeck International, starting, of course, as an individual this afternoon. Tara Bleicher gets away. She's from Munich in Germany's deep south. And this is her very first year on the Longines Global Champions Tour. Oliver van der Heijke is the son of Eplissier van der Heijke, crossed to Argentina, south of the Belgian Stadtbook. Tiara's Longines Global Champions Tour debut was in Shanghai. Had this horse in GCL round 2. She broke into 5-star level just in Doha on the tour back in January this year. So a rookie to the level of the highest, most elite level of world show jumping. Tiara herself was a Youth European champion in 2019. Was called Daniels Jack Esther, was a former Michael Jung rider. Tiara to follow in the wake of Eduardo Pereira de Menezes, comes now homebound. I've been impressed with this season. I was in Doha for the tour and really caught on to her ability. The last goes again, same error as Andreas Sko, but a very polished round given the magnitude of the afternoon for Tara Bleicher. Oliver van der Heijke for the young German comes home with again the last fence. The beautiful French tricolore proving a sting in the tail on the home journey once again. Victor Bettendorf comes forward, the mighty man for Luxembourg. He is world number 41. And this is the outstandingly quick Cancontoro Z on course. They have had 5 wins this season already. They won GCL round 1 just last week in Ramator Saint-Tropez on the Longines Global Champions Tour, and it is business as usual. Victor Bettendorf, little rattle out of the Longines double. They were also 3rd in GCL round 1 in Shanghai. Leg 2 back the start of this season. In fact, leg 3, Mexico is leg 2. This pair together since August of 2024. Former Juliette Paillard ride, and the advantage 2/3 of a second up on Eduardo Pereira de Menezes, and gaining time by the bucket load here. Victor Bettendorf won the Longines Global Champions Tour Grand Prix of Rome last year. Foxy de la Roque was brilliant, then went on to win the Longines Global Champions Tour Super Grand Prix in Riyadh playoffs, but that time is outstanding. The first 2 better, 60 seconds, but the late mistake comes into the double. 11A is on the floor, I'm afraid. 151 saw that vertical entering the GCL combination, and another stunning speed display for Victor Bettendorf. He is a master performer. But it is a late 4 for Cancontoro Z, and their chances of winning successive GCL round 1s, having won last week, evaporate just here, sadly. Light as it touches with the hind feet. Just the sort of pastel fetlock region of the horse's hind legs, I think, catching that 1 bar for Victor Bettendorf and Cancontoro Z. This man, the birthday boy of just yesterday, he turned 52 years of age. Cedric Urel is on the course of France. His brilliant maiden 5-star Grand Prix win was in Bordeaux with this horse, the Audi Prize, back in February. Fantasia Florent Z on course for Cedric Urel. Now he's married to Barbara, and actually this horse was due to be a present for Barbara, a 130 horse, but just turned out to be too much of a machine over the fences, and Cedric said, I think nicely to his wife, look, could I have the ride? And he's not too far away here. 0.68 a second the deficits behind Eduardo Pereira de Menezes. Gaining time here quickly, 600s to advantage out of the horse's heads double. Cedric Urel was the French national champion last year with this horse, and that was a Fontainebleau. And still green lights here for the Frenchman to have a very well received leading round here in Paris. Superb from Cedric Urel. He's a real grafter. His brother is Jérôme Urel. They both competed at elite level, and France are out in pole position in the Turkish Airlines GCL round 1. Eduardo Pereira de Menezes relinquishes his lead. We have now jumped 8, and just 2 clear rounds, 1 in 4 only, mastering Gregory Bodo's course.
Back to our roster of career Longines Champions Tour Grand Prix winners, Italian two-time Olympian Manuela Gardiano and Julius D.
The next to come is it's likely to light up Paris with a typical speed display. Emanuele Gardiano gets out on the course. He is war number 52, and this pair, they have won 23 international classes. This their 4th full season together. Started in November 2021, so this pair you can never underestimate. They have jumped 2 Longines Global Champions Tour Grand Prix with us this year, 29th in Shanghai and 31st in Madrid. And Gardiano cuts the corner very tight into 7 Prague playoffs. Cut that as tight as he could. Julius D now 11, son of Arezzo VDL, still purring out on the course here. For the man from Matera in the deep south of Italy, locally to Lorenzo De Luca's base in Apulia. Emanuele Gardiano is going to come down to the final fence, and Cedric Urel's time comes under fire. 61.99 is the blazing round once again, as anticipated from this unrelenting winner. And the Italian, it's a short celebration for the home crowd as Cedric Urel knocked off top spot by a very accurate speed display from Emanuele Gardiano. It was all quick. I think the turn back in 7 was the decisive moment. The seasoned Irishman Dennis Lynch getting started from County Tipperary initially, and world number 27, part of New York Empire. New York Empire we'll see later. They've had the 1 podium this season, that was in Shanghai. Dennis away, and he's back with this wonderful cordial horse, was with Megan Moissonnier, so the French crowd will know this horse well. Had a spell with Sarah Lynch, Dennis's daughter, just to give her some experience on a great seasoned veteran. This is their 2nd full season only together. They jumped 5 Longines Global Champions Tour Grand Prix last year. Dennis Lynch runs down to the big oxer. This horse has got scope to burn. He is such an emphatic jumper. Has got this classic bascule in the air as well. You can really see him round his back, throw the hind quarter away. Lovely archy shapes over the apex of the jumps. Cordial looking spring-heeled with a buck in his step as well at 16. That's great to see. The son of Casal, Rob van Bengtstol's former wonderful horse comes down to the final fence, and we have another clear round, surely. Dennis Lynch just ambles home. I can imagine getting this horse prepared for the Longines Global Champions Tour Grand Prix here. He'll hope to qualify GCL round 2 later. Today's a qualification round for the Grand Prix here. Cordo jumps an immaculate clear for Ireland's Dennis Lynch. No time pressure, as I say, with Sarah for quite a while, so Dennis just getting their relationship reunited here in Paris and does a very good job. This lady's won some massive classes on the Longines Global Champions Tour, the Grand Prix Madrid with Conquidam RB 2022, and the following year Valkenswaard again with Conquidam to beat Max Kuhner, Ben Mayer and Edwina Tops Alexander that afternoon. Sanne Thijssen gets away for the Netherlands, and this is Paluca van Het Schanshoff jumping, number 11. She is the daughter of Harley Crosser Utrillo Z out of the Belgian Belgian Warm Blood stud book. Now, this pair a year together, their second 5-star week only. They debuted at the Hong Kong International Horse Show out in Asia in February this year. Sanne is blazing again. I've always thought this lady, when she just comes into a ring, has got this presence, this pure competitive nature. She's a wonderful natural horsewoman, but I'm afraid the GC gated 10 is very, very tall. That is a 155, and then exiting the GCL combination late are the pair of mistakes for Sanne Thijssen. She's such a raw talent as a horsewoman, not raw in terms of hasn't got a lot of mileage, but just raw in terms of huge ability. Just didn't need any manufacturing. Sanne, her dad Leon and her sister Mel, brother Mans, they're all at the top of their game, but a couple down at speed. This very smart Paluca van Het Schanshoff for the Netherlands is Sanne Thijssen, combination number 11. The next to come, winner of the Longines Global Champions Tour Grand Prix here back in 2017, usual suspect Dorge. Juliette Paillard, we welcome. Now, the one number 12 saddles this brand new ride for him, 9-year-old only, son of President's cross to Allegretto out for Self-Francais stud book. Julie Debiche is on the course. This pair together since just early May this year. This is only their 4th show. 9-year-old again, and what a 4th place it was for Gilles Thomas and his 9-year-old in the Longines Global Champions Tour Grand Prix last week in Ramatot Saint-Tropez. This horse's 1m55 debut this afternoon as well. And Julien, who was 3rd last week in behind that incredible win for Scott Brash and Hello Chidora Lady for Scott's 2nd win on the Longines Global Champions Tour, the Grand Prix after the Shanghai victory. God, this is another incredible display from Juliette Paillard, what he can conjure from young horses so early on in their partnership. This horse is 9. It is dizzy what he can do, but the late mistake, I'm afraid, both parts, 11A and B, topple. The final line takes a hat-trick, I'm afraid, for the man from Lisieux, up in Normandy, not far from Caen, on the Norman Atlantic coastline. It is 3 down after a very good exhibition on a 9-year-old. The last line takes 3 errors, I'm afraid, for Juliette Paillard and the son of President, Julie Debiche, number 12.
Rider who's already top 5 this year in the Longines Global Champions Tour Grand Prix of Cannes, Mariana Martinez Bastida, standing with Quanda van den Hooven.
Well, this man not riding for the Saint-Tropez Pirates in GCL round 1, but they actually, looking back over the former 8 editions here, the most successful team, having won twice Saint-Tropez Pirates, 2017 and 2021. Mariano Martinez Bastida from Madrid gets started. Now this horse, Quando Van Het Heuvel on course, son of Canaan, crossed the Darko for Mariano. Again, about a year partnership. This is their 5-star debut week together and their first ever Longines Global Champions Tour start this afternoon. To boot is their meter 55 debut. Mariano's had a stunning year. The 4th place with Jupp secured in the Longines Global Champions Tour Grand Prix in Cannes. The crown alongside the win for Saint-Tropez, who was part of that team in Cannes. What a week it was there on the French Riviera. But yes, first blemish for the Spaniard. He's a keen runner and cyclist to keep himself razor sharp when he's not in the saddle. But another mistake, I'm afraid. This course continuing now to prove its real influence this afternoon. But you've just got to appreciate the quality of the combination set is that high. I'm sure you'll very much do, but that is what the course team must face week in, week out on the Longines Global Champions Tour. Trying to build for the horse caliber and the power and precision of our world-class riders is not easy. And getting the course influential without being overly demanding is the very difficult line they must try and sort of balance along. It's a real tightrope for our team. Mariano Martinez Bastida has a tough round, but as I say, Longines Global Champions Tour debutant Quando Van Den Heuvel. Niels Brunsels watches on. He trains Anna Kelner-Rover, and for Czechia on course, this is Offelien Van Het Han Viehoff, number 14, jumping. There's the daughter of Cardento, cross to Diamondisemi for Anna. Her first year on the Longines Global Champions Tour was 2017, and she won the GCL the following year with Hecke Schroeder for the Prague Lions in 2018 in Miami Beach. This is her second season with Offelien. They started in January of last year. This is their second Longines Global Champions Tour start this year. They were with us last week in Ramator Saint-Tropez. They did not jump the GCL rounds there, though. Offelien. Oh, I was just thinking beautiful bascule shapes through the double. But the exiting fence, I'm afraid, 8B is on the Parisian sand, and yeah, you kind of think unjustifiably because this horse is jumping beautifully. But that is, again, the level of demand and the second error. So both combinations proving bridge is too far for the young rider for Czechia, but the last fence will be a little bit of salt in the wound because the round, I think, was very good, the overall impression. But regardless, it is through down for Anna Kelner-Rover and Offelien Van Het Han Viehoff for Czechia. Combination number 14 completes here under the shadow of the mighty Tour d'Eiffel.
Celui qui est tout simplement le numéro 1 français, qui serait ravi d'entendre son public lui souhaiter bonne chance cet après-midi. Voici Simon Lestre. Il est là aussi cet après-midi. Olympic medalist, 3-time Olympian for France, Simon Lestre. Simon currently sitting second on our Longines Global Champions Tour standings. Lineside here in the Turkish Airlines prize as part of the roster of Istanbul Warriors. Simon with Golden Boy, DK.
Well, this man, we welcome. What a year he has enjoyed. He was very close to the Longines Global Champions Tour Grand Prix win with us in Cannes. Just 0.4 of a second was the deficit behind Harry Smulders, who finally claimed a Grand Prix with Monaco. That was 2 legs ago now. Simon Lestre, we welcome. He is number 11. And Istanbul Warriors, they are going very well because of the 4th place they enjoyed in Ramator Saint-Tropez last leg last week. This Golden Boy DK on course for Simon, his new ride as of November last year. They won the Trofeo Traction in Mexico City, the 1m45 class in North America on the opening day. They were then very good on the very then far eastern side of the globe in Shanghai. This horse has done some air miles this year. That was fourth in GCL Round 1 with us in the Just International Equestrian Centre, and Simon de Lestre carves a great turn into this, demanding line 7 to 8A and B. Golden Boy DK, son of Diamond Semi, Dam Side Cash, soars out over the Liverpool. Simon's got a great relationship with these chestnut horses. Hermes Ryan, who's had again good form in the Grand Prix here. His former great veteran 2017 was fifth in behind that win referred to moments ago from Juliette Paillard. And Simon and Hermes Ryan were also second here in 2016. Great effort from Simon de Lestre this afternoon. He will go third in this GCL Round 1 in our batch of individuals, with 5 more to come before the interval prior to our GCL for our teams starting in earnest at 4:10 this afternoon here in Paris. So just 5 clear rounds so far. After 15, it is exactly 1 in 3 only that are mastering Gregory Bodo's fascinating, challenging course for the Turkish Airlines prize this afternoon. A huge amount of prize money on offer this afternoon. It is €56,800, the prize purse. It is a world ranking class as well. And the results in this GCL Round 1 will determine the start order for GCL Round 2, which acts as the Grand Prix qualification for the big class here on Sunday, in addition to deciding the GCL leg here in Paris. This lady's got a very good Grand Prix record here, because Penelope Prevost was third here in 2023 behind Christian Alman. That was with Bingo del Tondu. Penelope Prevost getting started. She was third here, Vagabond de la Pomme in 2016 behind Simon de Lestre and Rolf-Johan Bengtsson that year. And fifth the year before, 2015, with Ratina de la Rousserie as well. Penelope this afternoon saddles Balubé de Talma. There's another son of Balubé de Rouet in GCL Round 1. New ride for Penelope this season. But again, the clatter of the horse hoof into the wood, I'm afraid, as the in part of the double 8A goes, and then 9 across the diagonal, cut to the Liverpool. This is only their 5th 5-star week together. So again, raw enough for this elite level of world show jumping. We will go up 5 centimetres for GCL Round 2, but this is still a very impressive track dimensionally from the team here, led by Gregory Bodo. Alongside Gregory, Eric Castillon, Jez Brenier, Pascal Guéret and Mourad Batour are our course team this week here in the French capital. So troubles, but as I say, a new enough combination at 1m55 level for Penelope Prevost and Balubé de Talma. The quite extraordinary Henrik von Eckermann, we welcome forward. He enjoyed his domination 2 3/4 years as world number 1. Now 2 months at Ken Farrington has dispatched Henrik from that very long-held world number 1 status. Delighted to welcome Henrik into the wonderful Champ de Mars Longines Global Championship Leg 7 here in Paris. Now this is Glamour Girl. Henrik saw since July of 2020. They went on a rout of Longines Global Championship wins in 2021. 1m50 class in Stockholm, a pair of wins in Rome. 2 years later, they won the GCL Round 2 in Miami Beach. They had 2 Longines Global Championship wins in Mexico City. They won GCL Round 1 in Riesenbeck. They won GCL Round 1 in Riyadh. Last year, GCL Round 1, they won in Shanghai, Madrid, Valkenswaard again. GCL Round 2, all wins. Incredible what this pair have done. And Henrik makes a good turn back to the Eiffel vertical. 152 tall and Glamour Girl, though, no, the error comes, I'm afraid, at 6. It's 150 tall by 160, that's Dark Oxer. Henrik's had a clutch of Longines Global Champions Tour Grand Prix wins, of course, as well. Stockholm in 2023 with King Edward. And Rome that same season, prior to second in the Longines Global Champions Tour Super Grand Prix, the Prague playoffs again with King Edward. But Glamour Girl a little bit out of sorts this afternoon. And von Eckermann, you've got to know when enough's enough with these sensitive horses. If you keep returning to the well when the water's a little bit dry, you face losing your horse's confidence, and that is something these riders can never face as a possibility. Good quick decision from Henrik von Eckermann to retire Glamour Girl out on the course this afternoon. One number 3 bows out of GCL round 1 here in Paris.
Olympic team silver medalist, twice Longines Global Champions Tour Grand Prix winner, Jessica Springsteen of the USA, with her family at Stoneville Farm of Coltrane, New Jersey's Cayman with Putu.
The next to come 3 for the United States of America this afternoon. 54 combinations in total and an incredible 23 nations represented. And the one number 132, Jessica Springsteen, we welcome. She hails from Colts Neck, New Jersey. Jessica, she started at 5 in the saddle, and her family, to try and avoid paparazzi, moved to the quiet, idyllic spot in New Jersey. Jessica was on the Longines Global Champions Tour 2016 and 17 for Shanghai Swans initially, and then 2018 and 19 with Miami Celtics. In fact, she was part of the Miami Celtics team that won here in 2019 alongside Shane Breen. Twice winner on the Longines Global Champions Tour, the Grand Prix of Ramateur Saint-Tropez 2019 with Zessoli and Don Juan van der Donkerve in London 2023. This Cayman de Porto Z on course for Jessica Springsteen, number 19, and it's a great start for the American. The Longines Global Champions Tour debut was in June of last year, Stockholm City. But yeah, a light touch on top of the GC vertical. 155 that guards the entry into this final line, and out of the GCL double is a second error for Jessica Springsteen, I'm afraid, this afternoon. It was very solid, typically polished. Such an elegant, effective horsewoman, Jessica Springsteen. But it is 17.94 the time, with 8 penalties for Cayman du Porto Z for the very strong American.
Global Champions League, cru 2025, la Norvège, pour côté Taylor et notamment Patrick Barry était sur la présence de cette qui a été 4 fois les championnats d'Europe. Voici donc YS maintenant équipé de Leonardo Colo.
The next to come, Ingrid Kjellsten lines up Nevada Datulka at the start line. 24 years of age and part of Valkenswaard United's roster for this year. Jessica Curtin, who trains Ingrid. Now, Ingrid started with us in 2022 on the Longines Global Champions Tour as a U25 rider for the Scandinavian Vikings. She's had some good form here in Paris. She was 3rd here in the meter 45 competition with Alibi de la Roque in 2022, and the following year 5th with VDL Edgar M in a 145 class here, but the second fence, I'm afraid, front bar scuttled out of the cups. This horse had his 2nd Longines Global Champions Tour in his career. He was in the Ramateur Saint-Tropez, his debut last week, but did not jump GCL round 1 there. This horse is a 155 debut internationally ever. This afternoon is a mighty occasion for young Ingrid Kjellsten. Now there's a very strong link between the Kjelsen family and the Longines Global Champions Tour here in Paris, because Malamadolo Zanotelli, who actually used to train Ingrid, won the Longines Global Champions Tour Grand Prix here in 2022 with the Kjelsen's horse, Like a Diamond Van Het Schack. So Mum and Dad were in Ramator, Saint-Tropez last week. I haven't seen them here yet this week, but a late mistake will be the second blow for Ingrid Kjelsen. So fence 2 and the GCL combination, the second error. But as I say, debutants at 1m55 level, that's a fairly fearsome course to face so early on in your career. Well done to Ingrid Kjelsen. It is going to be 8 penalties to complete the individual batch of riders here in GCL round 1 in the shadow of the 330-metre tall Eiffel Tower. Love the attitude of the horse. He is clearly enjoying and relishing the big course this afternoon. Well done to Ingrid Kjelsen. It is 8 penalties for the talented young Norwegian. So the position, we certainly have seen a mighty battle, and it is only 5 clears. It's about 1 in 4 only that have bettered this fascinating course of Gregory Bodo. Emanuele Gaudiano is out in first position with a very strong round for him. Jessica Springsteen, very nice round for Cayman de Poto Z. And then, yes, some trouble. Henry von Eckermann, couple down for the world number 3 now, and he retires Glamour Girl out on the course. Well, certainly a track with plenty to do. There are many error points potentially. A real concentration test is my sort of feeling. Gregory Bodo set some fascinating courses for us last week. They were all flowing, all very fair visually. When you walk the courses, you know exactly the stride pattern. There's no tricks from this brilliant designer, but just little nuances and delicacies. It is Gregory Bodo's hallmark. Typically the French designers, they are very fair, flowing course builders. That is the culture here in France. Well, certainly we have a fascinating battle. As I say, only 2 teams have won this year twice. Shanghai Swans back-to-back, Mexico City and in Shanghai at home, and Valkenswaard United leg 4 in Madrid, and last week in Ramator, Saint-Tropez. Certainly things will heat up here into leg 7. We're at the halfway point of GCL this brand new season that is not so new now, but still the jostle between our leading teams is really live and kicking. We take a short break from the mighty Eiffel Tower here in Paris. From myself, Ed Holloway, we will be starting at 4 GCL with the first round for the team riders. We'll see you soon. Thank you for your company. Leg 7 of the Longines Global Champions Tour brings us to the French capital, Paris. It is the third week in succession we have enjoyed in France, and what a brilliant location it is. Alongside the mighty Eiffel Tower, we are on the Champ de Mars, and we have had a brilliant battle so far in this GCL season, with only two teams having won two legs. Shanghai Swans winning in Mexico City, leg 2, and then at home in Shanghai, leg 3. And Madrid, leg 4, fell to Valkenswaard United, and they won then last week in Ramatour Saint-Tropez. The season battle is really hotting up as we near the halfway point, and it's a very warm afternoon. There's a light breeze though, just to cool the horses, which is ideal. And 8 editions have come prior to this one. Doha Falcons are the defending champions, and only one team has won actually here twice. Saint-Tropez Paris won it in 2021, and then 4 years previously in 2017 as well. So they are the informed team here in the French capital. And Saint-Tropez Paris continuing their hopeful, very good run. They won in Cannes. These are the season standings. Cannes Stars have had 4 podiums so far out of the 6 legs, and they won in Doha. They lead Valkenswaard United by a whisker that is 9 points out on the season standings. Valkenswaard are very handy. And then these teams all trying to catch up here. Still plenty of time in the season. The likes of Paris Panthers, who won here back in 2022, looking for a big finish this afternoon. We take you around the course of Gregory Bodo on a whistle-stop tour of the track for GCL round 1 this afternoon. 455 metres is its length, and 73 seconds is the time allowed. The opener, fence number 1, is the Longines Paris Eiffel jumping. It's 148 tall, the vertical. Right-handed then down to the very airy Elise Oxer, 148 tall by 150 in width. It's a sharp enough turn back to the opening combination. The double, the Longines pair of verticals, 3A into the line. 150 tall is certainly a big fence. This combination comes very early. Then it's 2 strides, 11 meters and 40 to another tall vertical. 3B, a little bit taller than the twin entering, 152 tall leaving. Right-handed then down to our sponsor, the Turkish Airlines Oxer, 150 square with a little crossbar in the front. And again, a very sharp turn comes back to the Eiffel Tower at fence number 5. Just 2 rails above the filler. It's 152 tall, is very airy. Down then to fence 6. That is big, 150 by 160, the dark Oxer. They then come into this punishing long straight line 7, the Pride Playoffs vertical, 153 tall, just 2 centimeters below the max height. And then it is 4 strides down to the second combination, again a double. Le Tête Chevaux, the horses' heads, 8A, Oxer in, 148 by 150. Is certainly big enough entering and causing influence. They'll then land, and it's a 1 stride distance, 8 meters and 1. It wheels down to a 150 tall vertical. Tough combination, 8A and B. They then swing back across the heart of this beautiful main arena to 9. That is Liverpool, 150 high, 145 is its width. Across the angle, and then after a big power fence is a very accurate, delicate vertical, 155 tall, the GC fence number 10. This then is the final line, finally. 11A and B, the third of the double combinations, 151 entering the GCL double, 11B leaving, 150 square, and then down 5 strides to the tricolore, the Longines Eiffel Paris jumping vertical, 155 tall, and it's over water is the added little twist in the tail of this man, Gregory Bodo. In the individual competition, we jumped 19 combinations and only 5 clear rounds, so proving a titanic battle under the wrought iron lattice that was finished in 1889. The Eiffel Tower, what a backdrop for our crowd to enjoy alongside the spectacle of the horses jumping. This team fourth in the season standings, Duarte Seabra and Philippe Rosier come for Saint-Tropez Pirates. They won in Cannes, leg 5. Istanbul Warriors, Oliver Fletcher, young rider European champion, alongside Abdul Said, who won the very first Longines Global Champions Tour Grand Prix in Doha. Shanghai Swans, Christian Alman and Max Kuhner, New horses for them, but a formidable combination. Max Amigos coming for Reca, and Carlos Hank Guerrero come for them. They lie 11th on the season standings. Doha Falcons, defending champions, Blanc Vermeer and Jérôme Guéry. Stockholm Hearts have got work to do in the season standings. It's Olivier Philippart and his twin brother Nicola coming into battle. Prague Lions, team number 7, they are 5th in the season standings, and it's Niels Brunsels and Peter de Vos for them, hoping to roar into the French capital. Rome Gladiators have got Yali Kass, he's 16 only, and Nadia Peter-Stein alongside him. Israel and Switzerland. Cannes Stars, the season leaders, Natalie Dean and Katrin Eckermann come to battle for their second win, hopefully this season. Monica Comets, Ines Joly and Yoli Mitsulaneo. Yoli, who won the Grand Prix with us on the Longines Global Champions Tour in Madrid. Paris Panthers, they won here back in 2022. Alexa Ferrer and Luis Felipe Neto de Azevedo. Scandinavian Vikings, Jorge Mate Capdevila for Chile and Johann Sebastian Gulliksen, the strong Norwegian. New York Empire, Spencer Smith for the USA and Robert Murphy. Robert's based with Jos Lansik and the young Brit. Madrid in motion, Manuel Fernandez Sarro and Jack Whittaker. First time for Jack on the Longines Global Champions Tour this year. That's a very much informed horse, Valmy de Land. And Riesenbeck International, brand new ride for Max Weishaupt, Zucchero HV, alongside Marco Kutscher and Aventador S. Valkenswaard United look fearsome again. Marcus Enning alongside Jules Thomas. This great generational split that is so effective for them. And Basel Cosmopolitans will be the last of our teams. Zasha Nigard Lille alongside Marlon Modolo Zanotelli. There's no drop score. This dynamic, fast-paced team competition. GCL has been epic over the last several legs. And we expect another titanic clash this afternoon here in the French capital. After the final leg, there will be in Riyadh, leg 15 in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Team 17 on the GCL season standings will not qualify for the Prague playoffs. That is the new rule added this year. It's another fascinating dimension into what is already a brilliant team format. And Saint-Tropez will lead us into battle. They lie 4th on season standings, courtesy of that wonderful win. Their first win this year coming in Cannes, and they were 3rd. Their first podium came in Madrid. That was behind Valkenswaard United and Shanghai Swans, Club de Campo Villa de Madrid. Now towards aboard Cooper. Towards Siabra, this 9-year-old Coleman Toulon out of the Oldenburg Studbook. Now this son of Coleman at just 9 to face the wrath of Gregory Bodo that has been in full evidence. Comes down to the Longines verticals smoothly. This pair, they have now jumped 5 legs on the Longines Global Champions Tour this year, all barring Madrid. Actually, they've started at. This horse jumped GCL round 2 in Ramatura last week. Qualified for Grand Prix actually, but Duarte elected not to start Cooper in the big class. The big win for Scott Brash and Hello Chadora Lady in the south of France. Now this man, who's doubled up as both an eventer, twice a badminton completion for Duarte, and 2 Europeans in the Worlds as well in 2010 for this man. He's from Saint-Tropez, just the northeast of Lisbon, and it's a great little adjustment there. Half halts, just perfectly manufactured down to that big vertical. Because this horse is onward bound typically. Now the error comes out of the GCL double. It's a big horse onward bound in Duarte's hands, so just got to retain control in this fairly tight arena. It's a great round for Saint-Tropez. Not the clear that was possibly going to realise, but it is 4 penalties for Duarte Siabra and Cooper. It'll be Trailblazer for the team that lie 4th on our season standings.
Oh, and leading to his first year joining us on the lead, French Olympic team gold medalist Philippe Rosière, riding for Paris this year with the Coach de
Now the great French veteran Philippe Rosier getting started. He's 62 years of age. And the world number 153, number 2 for Saint-Tropez Pirates, gets started. This is wonderful. Le Coutre de Muse on course. Christian Baez, big powerful grey, son of Presley Boyd, crossed to Vigorous Soy. Little rattle out of the Longines double. This pair, very, very good. In the Grand Prix with us in Doha, behind Abdel's side and Bon Ami, Longines Global Champions of Grand Prix, leg 1 this year, that was 10th. This horse goes a wonderful round way of going. Just makes it easier to set them up for a fence where they're not strong in your hand. Just a lovely light contact that Philippe Rosier can maintain with Le Coutre de Muse. Now, to stay on 4 penalties for Saint-Tropez Pirates, which would be a good enough start, not the perfect start that maybe Duarte Abra's round deserved in terms of performance from the man from Portugal, but Philippe Rosier comes home and it's been an exhibition. Absolutely spot on this afternoon from the Coutre de Muse. They won a 3-star 1m50 Grand Prix at Saint-Tropez Cassin. And they jumped with us last week, but not in the GCL rounds in Ramator Saint-Tropez.
That is a great round from the underdogs of 2025. The Saint-Tropez Pirates, a 4 for Duarte Abra, and a wonderful clear from Philippe Rosier starts them out beautifully with a combined team score of only 4 penalties. Next in the ring, the Istanbul Warriors, powered by Carpe Diem Equestrian Team. If you want to join us for the rest of the GCL action live from Paris, sign up for your GCTV Live Pass and come join us for Stage 7 at Champ du Mars.